Taking it back to Risk Management 101, we see increasing likelihood of political violence in 2025 across a diverse set of actors, coupled with increasing potential for outsized disruptive impacts across a number of key markets for businesses.
We are increasingly seeing activist groups that are directly targeting businesses, whether it be for their environmentalist credentials or lack thereof, whether it be for their perceived relationship with the conflicts that are going on in the region and beyond. And so for our clients, they're certainly concerned about the physical threats to their personnel and their assets. And then there's the broader political stability angle. And there are real concerns that the political atmosphere is increasing the potential for violence against elected representatives and others involved in the political environment.
Cyber attacks that Indian government organizations and India-based commercial organizations have faced up to 3 times more than the global average. Commercial airliners in India over the last month have faced a host of threats that have been bomb hoaxes, which are driven by international interests. These are all a broadening arena of political violence.
We've very much seen a trend in recent years already that most attacks are carried out by individuals. They may have links to extremist groups, or they may certainly have been inspired by extremist groups. But because of the increased capabilities of the security services in Europe, it has been very difficult for networks to develop and carry out attacks. And so we certainly think that that trend will be one that continues in the coming year, whereby attacks are most likely to be unsophisticated, carried out by individuals, and most likely against targets that have very little in the way of security measures in place.
The evolution of social media and spheres of influence online, the prevalence of disinformation, the arrival of deepfakes on the scene, which have continued to trigger and to both cause and lead to violence across the world. The question of agency and mitigation in this space is probably one which is making a lot of our clients think about redefining the way they manage risks.
So disinformation certainly plays a role in the radicalization of individuals, but it also is increasingly playing a role in the aftermath of attacks, where there are questions about what may have motivated an attack. People are very quickly putting out misinformation and disinformation that leads members of the public to believe something about that attack that may or may not be true.
Of course, we can't talk about political violence without talking about some of the economic crises and stresses that are driving personal and political grievances. That goes back to the global financial crisis more than 15 years ago, but more recently, of course, the COVID pandemic, which was an economic shock as much as it was a public health shock.